Hi, Tim. Thanks for joining us. We're going to wait just a couple more minutes and then we'll get started. Hello, Anaid. Thanks for joining us. And it looks like Karina is also on. Like I told everybody else, just wait maybe a minute or two more and then we'll get started. Well, I don't want to waste anybody's time, so we'll go ahead and get going. We got 5. That's a good start. These are usually between 5 and 7 people. So welcome to class. I know that this is kind of an unprecedented semester. So just off the top, if anybody ever has specific needs, the ASU community from Crow all the way down has said that they're very supportive of students and we want to help you succeed in any way possible. So if there are ever issues personally you need to work through, or there's things that you think ASU could help you out, please feel free to just email me directly and we can see what we can do or get you to the resources that could help you out. So just that's off the top because this is a very different semester than probably all others been for a long time. So, my name is David Schlunkert. I'm the Director of Monitoring, Evaluation, Research, and Learning at a new center in W.P. Carey School of Business. And I'm also a Senior Policy Analyst at Arizona State University's Morrison Institute for Public Policy. So I kind of wear 2 hats there, and then I'm adjunct faculty for classes like this in the Watts College for Public Service, which is the downtown Phoenix campus. I've been with ASU about 4 years, and it's a great place to work, but they take good care of students, and so I'm very happy to be teaching this class again. I was going to go around and just have you guys introduce each other, or introduce yourselves to everybody. If you could give me kind of your name, why you're taking this course, and what you're interested in doing. So I try to make sure that beyond just classes, we try to help you meet people in the area you want to work in and see if we can help facilitate additional connectivity for you. So it's always good for me to hear what you're interested in. And for those that are watching this recording, if you ever want to just shoot me an email and let me know what your aspirations are, what you want to do, I take the professional development side of this type of course very seriously and want to make sure you have everything you need. So feel free to reach out to me if you're not online. So Tim, I'm going to call on you first, if you don't mind.
Sure. I am a staff member at ASU also. I am in the Walton Sustainability Solutions Service within the Global Futures Laboratory. We do a lot of work with organizations like companies, local governments, international governments, nonprofits about sustainability solutions. So they come to ASU and say, we are already on board, we know we need to be more sustainable, we don't know how to do it. And they get connected to us and we create a program for them of, either educating their workforce or actually, life cycle analyses and sustainable outcomes and, diverting waste streams, whatever may work best for them. So we often work with data analysts and evaluators, when these organizations say, these are all great, but we need to know what will actually happen if we do these things. But we don't have anyone on our staff who does that work themselves. So it's become pretty apparent to me how useful that is and how everyone is looking for it. So I thought I would do it.
Awesome. Well, way to take the initiative. I think that's great. And then is that your long-term goal to stay with them? Do you like Global Futures?
I do really like Global Futures. It's really exciting right now with the college just starting. And yeah, Peter Schlosser is really great. There's a lot of good initiatives coming out of there.
Great, well, thank you. Jonathan, you're next on my screen here.
Oh, okay. That's fine. Well, my name is Jonathan. Yeah, I'm studying a master's in program evaluations and data analytics. Not too sure why, just looking for something different in life. And I think this would be a great way to expose myself to something new, challenging, and something different.
What are you doing now, if you don't mind me asking? What's the switch from what?
Well, currently I work two jobs. I'm a part-time project manager as a construction project manager. And then my full-time job, I am a claims specialist with State Farm. So kind of both two different fields. So yeah.
Well, this skill set can be helpful with either one of those. So I'm glad that you're joining us. I'm glad that you're taking the next step to do something different. That's awesome.
Yeah, thanks.
And then next we have Sung. Forgive me if I mispronounce your name.
No, that's fine. Hi, my name is Song, and I'm a first-year PhD student in global health. My study is focused on looking at socio-cultural factors associated with heightened suicidality within South Korean populations. And I'm already kind of familiar with regressions, but I thought it would be beneficial to look at how certain policies could have a wider impact on the general population in terms of suicide. So yeah, I'm excited to take this course.
That's super fascinating. My wife is actually in the PhD for global health program. So you might.
Wait, what's your first name?
Her name is Megan Schlinkert.
Yeah, I know Megan, and I think she knows me as well. We've had a couple classes together, so.
That's awesome. Small world. My direct question for you is, I've done some reports on suicide by firearms in Arizona, but I'm curious, are you looking at Korean populations internationally or U.S. domestically or both?
Well, it's kind of changing because of the current pandemic. So it's put kind of a wrench in my plans to do field study in Korea or in other places in the US. So I'm trying to focus more on the secondary data available. So depending on the data, I might have to change whether I'm doing international students or just native South Koreans. But I'm playing it by ear so far, but yeah.
That's very interesting. Let me know how that goes, and if you ever need anything from me on big data stuff. That's cool.
Sure, and also congratulations on the baby.
Oh yeah, well I guess I'll tell everybody we have a 1-year-old daughter. So if you ever hear a scream in the background, she's gotten to this new phase where she just yells and runs into things. So if you hear something, don't be alarmed.
Yeah, small world, but yeah.
Karina, you're next.
Yes, hi, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so hello everyone, my name is Karina Jones. I am staff at ASU. I work as Director of Information Technology for ASU Prep Academy. So what we do is we are the ones handling the little guys from kindergarten to 12th grade, getting them ready to go to ASU. Right now, we are in the middle of really serving all of our students in the starting education with virtual learning, online learning. They are going to, they are doing school from home, and the challenges that means for their families, it's very interesting to see. I am a certified project manager, and my passion is always project management. I have done a lot of program management. And the reason why I'm here is because I believe not only in executing the project with quality in terms of scope, cost, and timeline of the work that we do in the project, but also with meeting the demands and expectations of the stakeholders and achieving results in a measurable manner. And so I have always been inclined to do metrics and evaluation of the programs and projects that we do. I have done a lot of statistics in the past, but it's been a while, so I'm here to refresh my knowledge and to keep my mind sane with numbers and updated knowledge that I may have missed over the years.
That's excellent. You must have been the busiest person in the state of Arizona over the last 3 months developing an online virtual platform for students K through 12 to stay engaged in school. So hats off to you. I know that that's probably a huge lift.
It's been really, really busy, but it's also been really rewarding, to see. Like, we have been talking to families on a daily basis as we see them struggling, and we have Zoom rooms to support them, and I have my staff like helping them and assisting them, and it's really rewarding to see how we are making this a reality.
I'm glad to hear it. I mean, that's great. We don't know what's going to happen, so that might be the new modality for quite a while. So it's a big task.
Exactly. Yeah.
And Anaid, forgive me if I mispronounced your name.
No problem. Hi, my name is Anaid, and I am getting my certificate in social science research methods. I graduated with my master's in social work a few years ago, and I have been working at the Southwest Interdisciplinary Research Center here at Watts College since I was a student, actually, and now I'm a program manager of an NIH-funded research study that's ongoing. We are in our 3rd of 5th year, and basically, I want to be able to devote, to help out with the study in terms of not just the management part and the field part, but I'm fascinated by stats. And I've always liked working with data, which is what I did as a student worker. And so I wanted to get more experience in working with data, getting more stats courses so that I could help, finally, when our project is over, I could help evaluate whether our program is something that works and whether we need to change it and all that good stuff.
That's excellent. And CERC does a lot of random control trials. So they do big analysis stuff. Who are you working with on that big NIH project?
Our principal investigators are Dr. Flavia Marcilia and Dr. Sonia Vega Lopez.
Okay.
It is an RCT, yeah.
Flavio is excellent. He's a good guy to have, and I'm glad that he's giving you some work time to do this because it's very valuable. It's good to hear.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Thanks.
Thank you. And Aaron, you're our last one today. Aaron, are you there?
Yes. Hello. Hi.
Hi.
So I'm enrolled in the program Evaluation and Data Analytics, and I just graduated from ASU Lake Havasu with my Bachelor's of Science in Psychology, and I was planning on moving to New York because I do musical theater, and I was pursuing that, but everything shut down. Broadway is closed, all the theaters are closed, so while I'm still at home, I figured I'd pursue more of my academic interests in doing this program. I'm very interested in industrial psychology, learning more statistical methods and research methods, and running statistical tests. I've been looking at jobs with research analysts and data analysts, and thought that this degree program would be perfect for like learning the R program and the multiple regression and all those methods, so I could be better prepared for those jobs that I was looking at doing. And I'm looking forward to all the skills I will develop in these classes.
That's awesome. Well, I'm sorry that New York didn't work out, but it doesn't mean it worked out.
Yeah.
Good for you to do something else with your time instead of wallowing about it.
Yeah, just delayed a little bit, but this will be a good use of my time. So.
Excellent. Well, thank you for joining the class.
Yeah, thank you.
So I'm not going to go over any content today. I'm just going to go over kind of a high-level overview of the course so you get an idea of how it's going to work, what homework will look like, quizzes, final exam. I don't want to read off, the entire syllabus to you. You guys are all adults and you can read that on your time, but just some of the things that came out of the questions I had at the end of last semester. So I'm just going to keep this kind of high level and talk general. I can't see any of your faces, so if you have a question, I guess put it in the chat box, because I feel like I'm kind of talking to myself now. So I won't know if you're getting it or not. So just please let me know in the chat, or come online and just ask a question. You can interrupt me at any time. So high level overview, and I'll cover this again next week, but statistics can really do three things. There's three buckets. There's descriptive statistics, there's exploring relationships, and there's comparing groups. And within those three things, there's lots and lots of different things that statistics can do. But this class is going to focus in on exploring relationships. So correlation, causation, and what happens. How do you show what happens in a program? Was it effective or not? And that's really a product of two things. It's, how confident are you that something happened, and how big of an effect did it have? And that's the majority of what we're going to do. It sounds simple, but as I think someone mentioned early before we even started recording, there's a lot of math in there. But don't let the math scare you. One thing I want you to get out of this program is being able to talk about regression. This course is not going to make you an expert in regression, but it will enable you to understand how models work. It will enable you to talk with people. I remember Tim saying that, there's nobody on staff that does this, but you need to be able to communicate with analysts. So a big part of the class will be talking about how do you create good questions to make sure you're getting what it is you really want to know from people that might be doing this analysis for you. And there will be hands-on stuff you will be working in R. You will not be required to write any code in R in the first class. That will happen in your second and third classes. So don't freak out. You're not going to have to become a coder overnight. This class will kind of give you the infrastructure to understand how to write code so that you can draw on things in future classes, but you will not be expected off the bat to know that. Karina, do you have a question?
No.
No, oh, sorry. Your audio went off, so I thought you were going to say something. And then we also had, real quick, Sandra, you just joined us.
Hi, everybody.
Hello. So you missed some of the introduction, but I want to just quickly hear from you about why you joined this class and what it is you want to gain from this semester.
I apologize. I have something and I couldn't be on time. I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
I loved data and how to handle data. I'm trying to remember how to use statistics. It's hard for me. I'm trying to remember, but I love data and the accurate outcomes. So yeah, that's what I love this program, and I'm learning. I love about data analytics, and I'm learning about regression. So we'll see.
Great. Well, thank you for joining us. And like I'd let everybody else know, please feel free to ask questions. I'm just going to go through a quick overview of the weeks coming up. So the high level overview, we're in the exploring relationships, talking about what's happening, and that's really what regression does. And regression is actually, this is going to sound super nerdy, super cool, because you can do a whole host of things, from predictive analytics to all the modeling you're seeing from epidemiologists on forecasting COVID stuff. That's all regression. Whether or not to perform a treatment, what things look like, how you do program evaluation, all that stuff can be done with regression, which is really the basis of what we're going to do in this class. So in week one, we're going to do exactly that. We'll do kind of a stats overview. I realize that some students might have an economist degree, others might be in social sciences, could have liberal arts. I was a journalism undergrad. I didn't really know stats until I started my master's program. So I know that everyone's coming from a lot of different backgrounds, and so we'll take some time to make sure that everyone's up to a standard where you won't be overwhelmed with the subsequent weeks. As I was saying before, feel free to reach out to me, but the first step I want everyone is to use GitHub. So GitHub is a really cool platform for asking questions with particularly coders. And so what you can do is, in the top right corner of there's your syllabus page, course schedule. In the far right, that looks like a little cat. Takes you to GitHub. What you can do there is, if you ever have a question about a homework, you can post a question and your fellow students can answer it. I can answer it. Dr. Jesse Lacey, who created some of the infrastructure for this class, can answer questions for you, hopefully within a day, so you have it soon. So it's not scheduling office hours and waiting. It can get you an answer right away, and that can help you get through some of your homework questions. I encourage you to reach out to each other. If you ever need an introduction to another student, or you want to reach out to me for that, please let me know and I can get you plugged in so that you have someone to collaborate with. After that, the second week will be on confidence intervals. So how effective is a program? I heard that mentioned a couple times. It's like, how do you know what you're doing is really working? We'll kind of get into that. And it's always just a balance of effect size and how confident you are in what you're doing is really working. The week after that is the control variables. So if you want to hold other things constant, you've heard that a lot, that's just adding more variables into your regression analysis so that they don't have a big an influence or on what it is you're trying to actually measure, which is your policy variable on your dependent variable. So that'll really kind of help you understand the following week as well, because that's omitted variable bias, which is when you don't have those additional variables in your regression analysis, you're not really understanding the real truth or controlling for everything that you could. That's just life. There's no model that's perfect. As soon as you built a model, it's wrong, but there's always ways to make it better. And then there's at least a way to think about, of all the things that I didn't include in my model, how do we describe what we think is that impact on what we observe? So if you've done research papers, it's about writing up your limitations, is what the model doesn't tell you. Then we'll do dummy variables, which is just turning variables on and off, zeros and ones. It's how to transform your data so that you can do that. And then it helps you answer additional questions comparing to a reference group. And then lastly, we'll talk about specification bias. And all that really is there are 7 assumptions with regression. Regression, as you will find, is actually quite easy to run. You just plug in a bunch of variables and you hit run. You can do this in a lot of different statistical packages. It'll tell you something, but it doesn't mean that that something is what you really wanted to know. So it's being able to look at your data first and understand if it is data that's usable for a regression analysis. So that's the 6 weeks. The cool thing, I taught this over the summer and we had to double up on the last homework before the final, and that didn't go over well. So we have an extra week, which is great. You have 6 homework assignments in 7 weeks. So you'll have a whole week to do the final and we won't have to double up any homework, which is great news for you guys. I don't want you to be overwhelmed, because you can't learn when you're overwhelmed. So this should be a slower pace and I think it'll be good. So for homeworks, there's 6 assignments. You can drop your lowest grade. That won't show up in your grade on My ASU. That's just not how the My ASU Canvas thing works. But just know that when I download the grades at the end, I will take out your lowest score before I submit final grades. I strongly encourage to do all of the homeworks though. So if you've gotten 5 weeks in, don't just skip the 6 week. Because those types of questions from week 6 will be in the final. So just try to make sure that you do it. The other note about homework is, I'm going to post the answers after every week so that you can see how you derive the correct answer. But make sure you don't just go and look at the answer and see if you were close. Try to find out the logic behind why you did or didn't get the right answer, because that's really the essence of the learning that goes on in this. Is you're not going to know everything the first week. It's the first time you've seen it. I completely get that. I try to go towards a pass-fail grading on your homeworks, but the real learning comes when you take the time to spend a half hour with your homework and make sure that you understand why you didn't or didn't get it right. So that's that one, the onus is kind of on you, but I think it's time well spent. I talked about GitHub and how to get answers. If you ever have technical questions, feel free to email me. So quizzes, there's a quiz. Usually homeworks will be open the full week and they'll close on Saturday. So your first homework will actually not be due until next Saturday. So try to do all the readings. The Lewis and Beck article on the introduction to regression is a really good one for understanding some of the basics. Encourage you to read that. If you get overwhelmed by the math, don't worry, but try to do your best to understand it before we have our first review session. Take a stab at the homework before we meet on Fridays so that you can come prepared with questions. If you have specific questions ahead of time, please email me and let me know, and I'll make sure I always try to go over every question on the Friday to make sure that people have what they need to complete and are comfortable taking the quiz. The quiz will open up, I think I have it scheduled for after the homeworks are due. So I think it'll open up either Saturday night or Sunday and open through the end of Monday or Tuesday. And now that I'm saying this, I'm not exactly sure how I set it. So I will get back to you on that and let you know next Friday when exactly it will be open. The final exam will be open for a full week. It's posted on Saturday, October 3rd, and will close on October 10th. Please do not work with others. I know it's kind of weird because this class is very much set up to be collaborative. That's one of the coolest things about GitHub and R and all these online platforms that we now have, this open source research mentality. Is you're supposed to steal from the best. You're supposed to ask questions and you're supposed to work together because diversity, prediction theorem, the more people you have working on a problem, the more likely you are to get close to the right answer. So I encourage you to work together, but there is no working together on the final. It is open note though, so you can use anything, research. There is a great study guide at the end of this class that will really prepare you for the final if you do it. So don't stress the final. People did pretty well last semester, so make sure you're doing the homework and following up, and you should do all right. I will grade all the exams on October 11th, so you'll submit your last final, or everyone will submit on the 10th, and I'll make sure that I have that up right away for you guys to see it. So that was a lot of information at once. Does anybody have any questions about that, kind of the high level for this class? Sounds is either good or I've scared people. I never know on Zoom, but I'm hoping it means that you guys are comfortable.
Sounds good to me.
Sound good? Good. Okay. Got a couple thumbs up.
Yep.
Great. If you have questions throughout the first homework, please post them on GitHub and we'll make sure you get answers. Try to get all answers in within 24 hours. And then if you ever do have questions, I've tried to make sure that I will be available for office hours so I can schedule those with you if you need them. And then next week, we'll go over kind of a refresher on stats and get you started on the nuts and bolts of regression so we can be off to a good start.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Thank you all very much. Good luck with your homework, and I will see you next Friday at the same time.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
Have a good weekend.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.